Welcome to the Connor Mack Show, and today we're going to break down one of my favorite prospects in this year's draft, Oklahoma City Thunder's Josh Giddey. All right, but first we want to take a look at his stats. He's averaging around 11 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, shooting 44%, and has a 31% three-point shooting percentage, all right? We see his free throws aren't great at 63%, but I want to take a look at his weaknesses that the scouts had before the draft, okay? So when we look at this, we see ball handling, shot creation, assertiveness, outside shooting, on-ball defense, and athleticism as some of the weaknesses that pop up. But I'm going to break down with video evidence why a lot of these weaknesses aren't really weaknesses. And, the stuff that he has to work on, they're really easily fixable. And with his frame standing at 6'8" and 205 pounds, he can make up for a lot of that just because he's a taller, more athletic point guard or point forward, or whatever you want to call him, right? So we see here a nice little play in transition, right? But this is we're just getting the appetizers, all right? Some of the clips that you're going to see is just the off the dribble stuff that he does. Honestly surprised me, right? Has a great floater package. And overall, just, whatever speed or quick first step that he doesn't have, he makes up for it with great intellect. So he gets stood up by Jordan Poole right here and then finds the guy right underneath the basket, right? So he has a really, really good sense of floor awareness and, where to go with the ball, if his offense or his scoring lanes have been taken away, right? Right here's another great play. So he's going to go off the dribble, splitting two defenders, off glass for the and one over Moses Moody, right? And Moses Moody, a G League guy, but he still has the ability to break down better defenders, right? Here's another play going inside of the lane off glass. We're going to see in the next clip, Andrew Wiggins, a better defender, is now guarding him. Doesn't really matter. Goes right around him off the screen for a pull-up floater. What you're going to see with this floater is that it's a great tool that he has. And one of the things with young guys is that he plays with really, really good pace. He goes at his own speed right there. He controls the defense, gets the floater up. And it's one of the things that, younger players kind of struggle with sometimes. They speed up the game too much. Right there, he moves Dwight Howard off with a one-hand offhand floater. So he can finish with both hands. It's not just like he's a one-hand dominant player, right? And over the years, he's going to get better at all aspects of his game. Right here, this is my favorite, right? So he's going to come off the screen, give a little head fake, going around the defender and a little wraparound pass for the assist. But we're going to slow this down a bit. So when Josh Giddey gets this ball off the dribble handoff, this area right at the free throw line is an area he wants to attack because he can pull up for a floater, he can shoot. And so knowing that the defense is going to sell out for that, watch this subtle little kind of like up fake, gets two guys in the air, and then the defense is at his mercy from there. Then he great assists, underneath the basket right there. So, that's the stuff that he has the ability to do. And again, right here, he gets to his area, a little snake dribble, little head fake, gets Bealish up in the air, off glass, easy. This level of kind of patience and willing to go deep into the paint with contact, like right there on Danny Green, like this is something that I don't know how many people really expected right away. And if you don't believe me, watch this. Spinning off Reggie Jackson, getting into the lane, spinning off Ivica Zubac inside, off glass. This stuff is like next level stuff for a guy that just came over for Australia, right? Here he has Seth Curry on his hip. And watch this help defender. He's playing Derek Favors to drive, right? So that roll man, he has to be responsible for. So Giddey freezes him just long enough to where he can't get out and contest that shot. It's not a shot on this one, but you're going to see in the next clip that, that it's really hard for a defender to play two guys at once. And Giddey manipulates the defense extremely well. And then this one right here, a little long dribble. He could pull up at the elbow, and again, 80's helping on the drive right there, and then DeAndre Jordan's helping in case he throws a lob to Derek Favors or any type of pass, right? So Giddey goes up and then feeds it into the corner, and 80 can't really contest in time, right? So, he can do this for 15 years if he wanted to. This is also a really great clip. Little dribble, scoop pass to Derek Favors inside. Once he has better players around him, this offense is going to be ridiculous to stop just because of what he can do. Right here, he's off the ball. He's going to take it off the dribble handoff, inside another floater. So, that shot's going to be there for him most of the time. And then he can also do this. Like, this is, ridiculous passes in the fast break, bounce passes, one-handed passes, you name it. I think this is the best part of the game and why he can be a elite two-way player and probably one of the best point forwards in the league, honestly. So, that little one-hand pass off the bounce, it's going to be imperative for the Thunder to get good cutters around him, high IQ players. Obviously, this team isn't very good, but this type of stuff is elite stuff, right? So he takes 2 defenders with him, whips a one-hand bullet pass to Derek Favors, who goes in for the layup. I mean, this stuff is like, he knows where his teammates are going to be before they're going to be there, and he just fires passes like this. And there's a clip at the end of the video that, I mean, it's just probably, a great representation of what he can be, as a playmaker. And then there's some more clips just breaking guys down off the dribble, easy, plays at his own pace. And, these are against good teams too. I mean, the Sixers are, one of the better teams in the league. A lot of these clips aren't with Embiid on the floor, but, if you don't believe me, watch how easily he takes Paul George off the dribble. Nice little cross, and then it's just like he's not there. I mean, Josh Giddey, you guys got to watch out for him, because this guy, some of the stuff that he does, right? Like spin off a defender, pull up, like these counters that he already has for when his driving lanes are closed. He's really well schooled. But one thing we do need to talk about is his jumper, right? His form is okay, but watch his right foot. It kind of peaks up a little too far, and he's going to cost himself some points if he's not aware of where that right foot is. A lot of long 2s in these clips that should have been 3s. It's something that, can be worked on. His form also is a little bit more of a set shot, right? So, it's not always the cleanest. Like right there is a little hitch, and, it just needs to be a little quicker. It's not always consistent, so the percentages are going to suffer. Again, right here, that right foot kind of peaked inside the line. It was called a long 2. His shot is okay, like the release and everything, but just the footwork underneath needs to be cleaned up a little bit, right? This is really nice. Doesn't really have to worry about it here because he's so far, but he gives a nice ball fake into a shot. And if he starts making these, man, it's going to be scary. This is really nice right here, though. A little pull up mid range over Paul George. If he can do that consistently, also, it's going to open up a lot for him. It's just the angles at which he shoots sometimes, where the right foot is kind of peeking up a little bit, is kind of questionable. But this is really nice. Off the ball, a lot of guys would just stand right here, but he's well schooled to know that a guy drives baseline, you cut to the corner, and he fires a 3 right there. So his movement and everything and savviness of how to play is really good. But look at his legs right there. So you see how his legs are the knees are kind of bent in, right? And he's trying to generate power. But what happens is that's always, not always replicable when you're being marked by tight defense, right? So he really needs to get a better base like Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, where you can generate that power, but you don't push your knees together, right? Because that sacrifices the timing of the shot. So it's something for him to work on. But what I think he has the most potential is to be a really dominant defensive player, right? So we see there with a nice steal into the 3. Here blocks Jordan Poole. Again, he's 6'8". He has a short wingspan, but he has really, really good defensive IQ and a nice pass out to the corner right there. You're going to see another angle of this clip. He comes up from behind, blocks him, and then off to the races. Like, he's never going to be like a Kawhi Leonard type defender or anything like that, but, the ability for him to guard multiple positions right here. You're going to see Terrence Mann off the dribble, gets inside, causes the jump ball. He has really good hands. The strength is something that's going to need to be worked on, but it's not horrible. There's another strip right there. You're going to see Paul George coming inside, nice little swipe down off to the races, and look at that pass. It's just, the fast break with the Thunder in the next, decade is going to be pretty crazy. Good awareness right here to be in the right place at the right time, going off to the races, and he gets blocked right there, but you just see that he has a sense of where to be defensively. And I think that's the biggest thing that is going to be good for him, right? So, Josh Giddey, you guys have seen all those weaknesses that, I don't really think are weaknesses. And a lot of the stuff that he can work on, is overshadowed by like shit like this. Like, what a pass that is, right? And then he has the ability to be a good rebounder too because of his size. Like, this stuff is going to come, and, he's a lot more advanced than I thought. And for people that aren't paying attention, like, you better, because, this kid has possible all-star potential and maybe even MVP potential one day. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more content. Josh Giddey, he's next up, so stay tuned for more.